probably a good time to do the thing.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that was a long game. Time for the review.
No.
Custom review
Oh.
on Haven. This is mainly for people that don't have that much experience in the game and maybe are trying to in-game lead but don't really know how to go over the map, so I will just help you guys go over it a little bit. If you want to start off playing the map in like the most basic way possible, the best thing you can do is have 3 defaults. Why? Because there's 3 bomb sites and there's 3 choke points. There's 1, 2, 3. I will go over this using or theorizing a comp that's very regularly played on this map. So Breach, Sova, Omen, Killjoy, and Jet. That's the one that we'll go with. So to start off, say I want to go over an A default with my team. The best way to do it, first figure out all the util. Breach is going to at the start of the round stun long A. The stun should ideally get this line for anyone that's trying to hide from it. Now, if you have Astra, it's okay to smoke this, but you should try to stun this line as deep as we possibly can. After Breach stuns, he just needs to run with his team. Jet at the start of the round should smoke this. The smoke is mainly there just in case there's somebody peeking, right? If somebody peeks here like this with an op, you don't want to just die to him. So just throw the smoke on the ground to be as safe as possible. So Jet throws a smoke and just continues running. Now Jet can do one of 2 things, go right or go left. Right is risky, and you might actually get stunned as well, so it's probably just better to go left. But you can technically go right. If the stun is instant, you should be able to go right. At the start of the round, Sova will dart long A. Now the dart you want to do for long A, since your Breach is stunning this line, remember? At the start of the round, your Breach is stunning this line, right? And by the time the Jet re-peeks, if he dodges the stun, he has to peek into these 2 angles, which your Jet will probably already be in. The best dart that you can throw is right here. This one. So dart this at the start of the round, because if someone wants to peek and break it for him, he gets stunned. So the only play Jet really has is to go here and throw a smoke on it. If he throws a smoke on it, you know he's here, in which case you can use other util to take him away. Ideally, you have your Killjoy be the only lurker on the map. So alarm bot that and turret this at the start of the round. And then you have 2 choices as a Killjoy. You either walk up mid and hide here and then eventually make your way up B as your teammates are making noise A. Although these peaks are a little risky. And also this spot is risky, so once you're clearing this, you could get timing. So it's not really worth constantly lurking up, right? The other thing you can do as Killjoy, if you don't want to lurk mid on this A default that your team is running, is you can alarm bot this behind barrier, and then behind this barrier, you can turret this, and you can play this at the start of the round. And you just stare at C. So you basically have the whole map regardless. And then when your teammates has to retake mid, it's okay, just as long as they know that these people can be here in this middle area. So once you A default on this map, so once you have A control, usually you'll be in situations, or a situation like this with 5 people alive. Jet will be here, Breach will be behind Jet, you guys are posted, Sova will get to here, or hold the sewer area, and then Omen, at the start of the round, can TP here if he wants to help. Now this is one thing that my teams never used to do before, but is really strong, is throwing a smoke here at the start of the round. Now the good thing about this smoke is it just completely negates any type of sewer aggro or peek. Even if they aggress with a stun or something, they can't really kill you. You can do it right before, so just at the start of the round, as soon as barriers go down, throw a smoke right here. And then you can either TP here or not waste a TP at all, since Jet will have this line already. And then just come A with your teammates. Then after that, once you've cleared all this, Sova can then re-drone towards sewers if he wants to. The other thing you can do, if you don't want to smoke this, is you can just have Omen just stare at it. The only issue is sometimes you're going to get breach stunned and not going to be able to do anything. So you should probably run to this area. But by that time, that Jet has a line already. So that's the only issue. So the safest thing to do is smoke this, wait for it to go away, or everyone hide from that line entirely, and then drone this fully and clear this completely. The last thing you can do if you want to do an execute off of this control is leave that guy there if he is there. We don't know if he's there or not, so let's assume we don't. And then just have Sova go long with Breach, with Jet, and with Omen. Omen usually will stare at this until he has to turn around to hold flank. And then when you guys are ready to execute, Breach is going to stun this line right here. Omen is going to flash this entire line. Omen can also choose to flash all of Graffiti if he wants to separate his line from Breach's. And then Breach is going to flash this off to clear off any weird off angles from Oppers. Breach is going to flash this. That's when the Jet is going to peek. And since, remember, Jet's already used a smoke here, right? So he only has one smoke. So Jet's going to peek off that flash, run up, throw a smoke here, then dash. Sova's going to drone in. Or if you don't have drone because he used its sewer, you're going to dart in. And you're going to take long A. So that's how you hit A off of the A default in general. But more often than not, you don't want to play like, at least at a higher level, you don't always want to play like that unless you have heavy ults like breach ult and shit. You want to play like more defaulty. So once you've done the A default, you're going to have Jet lurk here, whatever. There's something really important that teams don't do at the mid to high tier-ish area. They're starting to do it more, where you insert players. If you have a Jet on this line, this is a very powerful line because for two reasons. One, if they re-peek, he kills them. And two, if they throw a dart or something, that's info, that's fake info that they're getting that your Jet can then provide to you and be like, yeah, we should go A. They don't think we're going A. For those two reasons, inserts are very important, but you want to do it with two people towards it. Leave Omen here, okay? So you leave your controller player here and your duelist here, and then you go back. Usually the best way to retake mid is hopefully your Killjoy turret isn't already broken if you've turreted out mid like this. Killjoy's just hopefully has cleared enough space at mid and you guys have been able to figure out where the op is. Now, if Killjoy's able to do this, Sova comes back, Breach comes back, and then now it's Killjoy, Sova, and Breach here, while the other two are chilling at A. And then you can do a fake toward B pretty easily. You can also fake C, but faking B is a lot easier because you just have to tap the bomb, right? And then you fake the site. So you can come back towards B, and then you just have your Omen from sewer, throw smoke, smoke, breach stun backside. You can breach stun one of the links if you want to throw only one smoke. And then you just come here, you either tap the bomb or you full commit. It's up to you. But if you've inserted two players in these areas, then there's not really a point in executing and like planting. It's way better just to go back and like fake it and then go back to A. So that's why inserts are really important because they allow you to be able to go back to where you were at the start of the round. So you don't lose the map control that you gained at the start. For middle, pretty simple. You literally just turret here at the start of the round, and if you can avoid using util, you should, but for the most part, you want to keep defaults looking similar so it's not obvious. So you should always fake a default at least. So you can use a stun here, you could use a Sova dart here, you could even Sova dart sewers, but for the most part, since the goal is mid, you just use some util towards A, maybe even this throw the smoke, break the enemy dart, and then walk away, then go mid. Now, if you want to be really safe, you can have your Sova drone out. The issue with this is if a Jet sees it, it's very obvious what strat you're about to run. So you could have protocols like, oh yeah, okay, if I drone out and we see the Jet and he sees the drone really early, then maybe we just throw a fake instead of actually hitting. The way you want to mid default for the most part is be as quiet as possible. Don't make it super obvious. Fake the A default at the start, come back to middle, and then you could use your drone towards garage, ideally. And then what you could do is you have your Sova drone, and at the same time, your Jet can peek off the drone. Omen smokes this, and then you dash to here. When we do B default, you want to have your alarm bot set up towards A in case of a repush, and you want to have your turret middle, and then you can either go towards C and hold it, or just let your Omen hold C the entire time, and Killjoy can just chill mid. Killjoy can also do this, where he can turret out mid at the start, come here, and just wait here, and play off the alarm bot if he wants. But as long as the main pack, so Breach, Sova, and Jet are towards mid, that's a mid default. And then obviously Omen towards C. And then Omen just smokes garage at the start of the round and just continues to hold C. The point of the mid default is to take garage control, break util towards garage, break all the Killjoy shit, pressure garage as much as you can, maybe even like jump spot these areas. Even take window control if you want to throw another smoke here. So there's some teams that actually just smoke this off entirely, fight window, and take window. Because a lot of Killjoys put a turret here, right? Just smoke this, drone in, and then clear everything with your drone. Once you've had control of this, again, you can keep a couple players in garage if you want. You can have one guy right here holding this, and then you can have another guy just staring at this. If they re-clear garage, you have eyes on both from here and from here. Just make it Jet and Sova, because those initiators aren't necessarily needed as much as Breach and Killjoy would be in this situation, just based off how positioning would work out. So you could have Killjoy, then walk up B and throw a fake, or you leave two people in garage, or one in garage, it's up to you, then go back and re-clear A, and the best way to re-clear A most of the time when you have no drone is to just throw this smoke. And then once you throw that smoke, you can breach flash through the smoke, if you want, like through here or through here, and then you can run through and clear all these areas out to retake a lobby afterwards. The B default, is for that reason, but mainly you don't have to do all that at all. Like you don't have to go back to A and re-clear it most of the time. Even if they know what you're doing, as long as you leave 2 people inserted here and then you go and fake B, they'll almost always rotate towards B. As long as your Omen does not die at bottom C, which people like Som, they peek a lot and just die. So don't be Som, just live, you know? Throw your smokes and just live. And then for C default, very, 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 very simple. You have a Sova dart behind barrier, or you can just do it peeking if you want to. You peek this and you just shoot the dart right there around this area, maybe even deeper. You have breach, flash this, or you can do a breach stun that goes here or plat, depending on where you think you'd be opping. I think the flash is still better over stun. It's worth doing it. And then you can have your Omen throw a smoke right here, the one-way smoke, so that way you're able to get the orb. So this is an orb default basically, because that's the whole point of this default is you get the orb. And always be careful of this position, because if you don't instant swing, a player will always be able to get to this spot. When you're clearing angles like this, make sure you're on the back wall. Don't ever do this, because it's just a free kill for that player. Always do back wall peeks, so it's better for you. So you start breach, Sova, and again Jet here. You have Killjoy lurk A or mid, and then you have Omen lurk the opposite. So if it's Omen towards A, then Killjoy lurks mid. As long as he has his alarm bot here, that's all that matters. And so those are the 3 defaults that you can run on Haven that will easily help you take map control. Once you do C default and you've pressured this and there's nothing there, you can walk up here and you can literally leave your Sova right here. And I'll explain why in a bit. But you leave your Sova here, you go back to garage at this point, you have mid control because of the turret, you have your Killjoy walk all the way to here, and he chills. Eventually Jet will come back with breach, and all 3 of you will walk garage together. Omen can smoke this, breach can have his stun out if he has his stun back, if he didn't use it towards C, and just used a flash. Breach can literally have his stun out, and stun all this whole line off. He could even use the stun from here, so it stuns this guy and this guy, if he's there. And with this smoke, you should be able to take garage with Jet. And then Killjoy just kind of baits and goes in third or whatever, or second, doesn't matter. And then you have turret holding towards B, and Omen's still holding towards A. The whole default is still you're just taking map control, right? You took C, you left a guy here, then you took garage, now you have 2 or 3 guys in garage. Once you have this much map control to play with, you're able to run fakes pretty easily, because you can either fake a garage split and have Killjoy walk into B and Omen walk towards A, or you can go everybody back to A, like outside A or whatever. You can have Omen throw a smoke here to make sure all the lines are gone. You can have Sova fake C with breach, and maybe even Jet, and you just do a full C fake because he's here with the drone, right? So this is really important position for Sova to be in, because he can drone all the way through and clear all this out. If you want to keep your Sova in like the middle of the map, you just make it so your C default involves your Omen. He just darts and then goes and holds A, and then Omen starts C. You leave Omen lurking here, and then that way Omen can just flash through if you're gonna hit the site. So obviously there are two spots here that you can prioritize. You can prioritize long A, or you could prioritize sewers. The one I showed you guys for A default is long A. Prioritize long A, right? If you want to prioritize sewer instead, the way to do it is start of the round, you have your Omen smoke this instead of smoking this. Sova darts top sewer at the start. So anyone that's running down is going to get pinged unless he's in here. Breach at the start of the round. Instead of stunning long A, he stuns sewer. So the line you want to stun is just bright by barrier, so like right here. You stun this line at the start of the round. If a Jet is running down to go for a pick, he's stunned, he has to dash away, or he gets stuck here and gets pinged by the dart. And then you have your Jet at the start of the round. He could still throw a smoke here, you know, because the Omen smoke doesn't insta pop. So he can instantly smoke here and then continue to running sewers, or he can pop his dash and dash sewers. Then you can either drone up sewer, or use your drone for long A, or you just walk behind the smoke long A if you want to, if they haven't like gone through it or whatever. Those are the 4 defaults. And that's how you take map control. Any questions? How do you play if the enemy is doing the opposite of what you expect? What if they run it down and push aggressively? This default should stop that. So if they're rushing you towards long A, they're getting stunned, they're getting darted, they're getting fucking everything. And this is smoked off, so how can they run up sewer if this is smoked off? It's the point of this default, right? If they're doing something aggressive on your side of the map, you just punish it. And then the lurkers, their job is simply to stay alive and off angle. Like off angles like this, off angles like this, it's just free. You just get free kills. Could you explain the attack defaults for Cypher? Nothing changes, really. You can cage for your teammate, but if you have Jet, you don't have to cage, so you just do the same shit. You just cam here instead of dart. You just put your trips here, and you could even put another trip right here, so they can't really go into window. But if you want to save your second trip, that's fine as well, and then use it later in the round. And then you just cam here at the start of the round, or even cam like mid, like right like here if you want to, and then just the cam just looks at this, right? And he sees the whole mid push. You can even cam out a window. Basically, the cam is the turret, and the alarm bot are both your trips. The reason Viper Harbor is so OP is because we're constantly walling off the A bomb site, right? So picture you being a Sova, and at the start of the round, you dart A, and they don't break it. You think it's clear, but the second I wall up again, the only lines available to you are these, and that's it. Because my wall is cutting off this entire area towards A. And because my wall is just regens, I can consistently make it seem like I'm coming back to A. Same thing goes with Harbor. If you have Harbor at the same token, and you're not doing A control or something, you can literally Harbor Cascade up mid. And these guys' window and shit can't see anything. And the other thing I do on Viper, which is really annoying, is I'll Viper wall, I'll put it up, and I'll molly sewers. So it just makes it hard as fuck for operas to get any lines. And because the operas don't have lines, there has to be a second player playing with the opera. So it just spreads out the map for the defense, which makes it easier for you to hit any bomb site you want. One last thing. Once you've taken this map control, it's really, really strong, specifically on these defaults when you insert players, like I mentioned, when you insert these players. A good thing to do is to throw fakes. You can throw fakes with these guys, but you can also throw fakes with these people, the three. So if you have two players inserted, because you've done an A default, you have one guy here and one guy here, and then you eventually try to come back to middle, there'll probably be like 40 seconds left on the clock. That is the best time to throw fakes. So if you're able to throw a fake at like 40 seconds left and tap the bomb at like 25, you still have more than enough time to knife out, run away, and go all the way back to A. And your two players that are sewer and long A can just walk in. How does this default change with an attack op? When you are executing the bomb site, you need to trade the op with your Killjoy or your Omen. Do you normally have a plan for the inserts to lurk in, or are they only there waiting for the team to regroup and keeping control? Both. Like, it just depends on what they hear and see, right? Like, if this guy hears a guy blatantly run away, he's gonna just take that timing, right? So if they're able to take a timing, you let them take it. If not, they don't have to force it. The later you do a fake, the more convincing it is. What if one of the insert players dies after the insert? Actually helps. If my Jet is sitting here and he gets picked and dies, they assume he was the only one there. So if this guy stays here and I run the same fake, they will rotate for sure. And this guy's still able to take the same timing. It doesn't matter if one insert dies. That's why you have two. Okay. Love you guys. That's all. Peace.